Foo.
Singing a song, Little Bunny Foo Foo. How are you, Keith?
I'm doing great. There's two questions I've been asked repetitively for 3.5 decades. And the first one always is, so tell me how some real estate market question. The second one always is, where do I go to eat? What's the best restaurant? It's always, like a restaurant of food question after that. And that's kind of what I wanted to have fun with today, to kind of talk a little bit about, our market. Food and Wine named us one of the best small towns, foodie towns, up-and-coming foodie towns, which those of us who live here kind of know that. And we may or may not have a guest come in and join us today. I just want to have a little fun today and maybe wear a silly hat and a silly shirt.
I like it.
Or maybe not a silly hat and a silly shirt.
I like it a lot. Judah Wickower is going to have some fun today as well. We may have a guest drop by. We may not. It's the Friday edition of Real Talk. Judah Wickower, we can rock and roll. Good Friday morning, guys. I'm Jerry Miller, and welcome to Real Talk with Keith Smith on the I Love CVille Network, presented by Yes Realty Partners. Say it again. Yeah. Judah, you say it as well.
All together.
Yes, Realty Partners. Yes, Realty Partners.
Yeah, I don't know. Judah he got lucky twice this week. Once he was supposed to cover me for 15 minutes, and secondly, we have a surprise guest coming. And he was going to have to wear the third chef hat, but he's kind of gotten away from that.
That voice there is Keith Smith, the star of the show, the star of Real Talk with Keith Smith. I think if you look on the screen, you'll immediately realize that A, Keith Smith has a Chef Boyardee hat on, ooh, and B, he has a Hawaiian shirt on, and C, he's feeling quite chipper this morning.
That's for me not to be in a suit or something for the show is a rarity. So today is a fun Friday. How does that sound?
I rarely see you without a suit.
Yeah, I'm what's the second day of summer, right? Or third day of summer?
Third day, second day of summer, third day of summer, something like that? Third day, Judah says.
Third day, yeah. So, as I said in the lead up here when the mics were hot, there's always two questions I'm always asked, Jerry. And one is, and it's been asked this question forever, one is, what's the market like? What's going on with the market? It's very specific, whatever the real estate market. And the second one always is, so where do I go to eat, right? If it's a local person, it's like, so what's your favorite restaurant? Or if you want to go out on a date night, what's your favorite?
Okay.
Whatever it is. And folks that come in from out of town, they would go, hey, where do I go to eat? But if somebody can go and Google it, and maybe Jerry or Judah can drop it in the May edition of the Food and Wine magazine, Charles has been named by Food and Wine as a small city with a big food scene.
Oh, yeah.
So we're kind of, and we've talked about this before, so I kind of wanted to have a little fun today and kick it off and see what the feed has to say, and maybe what our surprise guest has to say about the food scene or the restaurant scene.
So what's the question specifically you're asking?
So what's your favorite place to go to, right? It's the same question I'm asked all the time, right? So if somebody walks up to you that's either from town or out of town and go, so what's your favorite place to go out to eat? There's so many choices in our town. It's a hard thing.
Very difficult.
It's almost as hard, well, maybe not. I was going to say it's almost as hard as trying to find a house in Charlottesville to buy, but maybe not.
Well, the inventory is staying on the market longer.
It's
getting easier.
What was that? Was inventory? What's that word?
There's more inventory. We can say inventory now.
I actually just looked at it. I didn't bring it with me, but we're keeping that more coming on than off thing.
DOM is getting longer. More inventory is on the market. More coming on than going into pending. The market is shifting.
O-shift.
Oh, Shift.
And actually, somebody stole that. We should trade.
Well, it was on the cover of Keller
no,
Williams.
no.
Gary Keller's book.
No, it was Shift. I wrote O on top of it.
You took it. You made it an O.
I totally.
Okay.
It's on screen.
Oh, it's on screen. Look at that, Judah Wickower.
Did I plagiarize that? There might have been.
I mean, I think that's pretty much. I would call that trademark infringement. I'd say that would be paying.
Oops.
Go to the USPTO and getting some.
So
money
hey,
back.
so what's your favorite? How about them Mets?
So my favorite's Mas Tapas for date night. You go to Mas Tapas. That's where I took my wife first date. Mas Tapas. I love the ambiance. I love the energy. I love the shareable plates, small plates that you can share with many people. The sangria gets everybody feeling nice and right, warms your belly, keeps your mind fresh. Staff is good. You got inside, outside dining. You can sit at the bar. You can sit at the window. You can watch the activity in Belmont. Mas Tapas, in a lot of ways, made the Belmont culinary dining scene.
It kicked it off.
Kicked it off, undoubtedly. I'll go Mas Tapas is my date night spot for a restaurant.
So that's so interesting because.
Have you been to Mas?
I have.
Recently?
No, I have
Okay.
not. And I
take
guess,
Yona there.
Sorry.
Take Yona there.
Yeah.
Take her there this weekend.
Yeah. Our new.
It's Tavola.
Is Tavola.
Yeah. You guys love that place.
Yeah, but it's funny because it kind of rotates around a little bit. But it's a one of the great things about being a foodie town, because I consider us a foodie town. You have so many options to pick from. On the other hand, you have so many options to pick from, right? Where do you want to go? Where do you. So I usually, when somebody asks me that question, I usually respond back. So what are you in the mood for, right? Tell me, what's the occasion? What are you in the mood for? So if you're in the mood for a pizza, or if you're in the mood for, fine dining. But what, Judah, AKA Alfred, what's your go-to spot? If you're gonna go out and take Liza the dog out on a daddy-daughter date on it, where do you go?
With Liza, a great place is right around the corner from here. I like to get some brunch at the Nook.
The Nook, okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
You'll sit outside.
Yeah, if I'm taking Liza.
So it's interesting. We've been in this town since 1987, and the mentality of allowing a dog. There's my accent.
Well, only on the patio.
Yeah, but it used to. That was even frowned upon years and years ago.
And on the patio?
Oh yeah, years and years ago. At least maybe it was they were frowning me coming over there, not the dog. But it was. It was frowned upon. You didn't see so many people walking up, at least from my memory, back in the late '80s and the early '90s on the downtown mall. What do that? So I was kind of thinking. You just started off with Belmont. So in Belmont, Mas is your go-to place.
Mas Tapas for date night. For a non-date night, like it's the tough part about Mas Tapas is you're probably not going to bring children to Mas Tapas.
See, I'm at a different world, right?
Yeah, you can't. You're not going to bring kids to Mas Tapas.
Yeah.
Now I will say this, and we're going to cover this a week from today on the I Love Seville show. Melissa Close Hart reached out to me. She's the executive chef, and I believe going to be a part owner of the old Junction. That's now going to be Mockingbird Seville. And it's going to be elevated Southern fare. And one of the owners and the executive chef, Melissa Close Hart's going to come on the show on Friday.
Nice.
She's very generously and kindly offered my wife and I grand opening
good for you.
seats for the soft opening. So I'm very curious to see how Mockingbird is going to change or what positive addition it's going to be to the Belmont dining scene.
So let's just talk
Because that's a massive building. Adam Frazier owns the restaurant. He actually owns the real estate.
Yeah.
Owns the real estate with the local.
Yeah.
Okay, owns the building at the local. Lives on Graves. Owns the building on Junction, where Junction is, soon to be Mockingbird Seville, and owns the building where the barbecue joint is.
So are you finding Belmont? It seems to me, and maybe Belmont's turning into more of a local eatery. When I'm down there now, I'm bumping into more local folks than tourists. It may be just when I'm there is what's happening.
So I think this is what's happening. This is what I think is what's happening.
Because I think that's turned into a foodie hub.
I think if you're a student or tourist, you're going to hit the downtown mall. That's the heartbeat.
The student thing never used to be like that, right?
Yeah, now it definitely is the case.
Now it is, yeah.
You're going to hit the downtown mall, you're going to hit West Main.
Yeah.
Belmont, as Keith has highlighted, is still a little bit more a local destination.
So you know why I like Tavola so much, or the Belmont scene so much? It reminds me of back home. You would have these little neighborhood places, right, that only the locals would go to, particularly back in New York. You wouldn't see the tourists there, or not as many of them. The tourists that found them knew, they went there specifically because of it. But just take a look at Belmont. What we've got, which I have. What's the restaurant that has a New Orleans fair?
Southern Crescent.
Southern Crescent. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've actually not been there yet. But you've got that. You've got the local. You got Tavola. You've got Moss. And now the Junction, which is going to be what again?
Junction is going to be Mockingbird.
Mockingbird. So
Yeah.
that's 5.
Yeah.
You occasionally have some barbecue on and off.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, there's another. So
Right now, it's not the barbecue joint. It's the
it's a Latin.
it's the Patty's neighbor, who's come on the show. It's Comal. Comal is in the barbecue space now.
So it used to be Belmont Barbecue.
Used to be Belmont Barbecue. It used to be another barbecue joint that Maddie Hart was running, but now it's Comal in that spot.
Tell me about that. What's that fair all about?
It's very authentic. See if you can call up the website, J-Dubs, and give us some insight into the...
So that's 5 or 6 if I missed.
you got Bell. Did you count Bell?
I missed that.
Yeah, Bell's owned by Annie McClure
Missed that.
and the Shaughnessy brothers.
Yep.
Across from Bell, you got Comal, which Judah's going to give us some
How do you
insight
spell
in.
Kamal?
It's either C-O-M-E-L or C-O-M-A-L.
Then you
And
have
you could do a Google search and
you have
find
the
it.
Tiki Bar there, right?
You got that's part of Bell. That's part of Bell, the restaurant. You got the local. You got the beauty salon that's been converted into a private party room for dining. You got Moss.
Yeah.
You got a lot. I mean, Belmont's popping right now. Belmont's been popping for 20 years.
Yeah, but you're 100% right. I remember Moss was kind of the one that kicked it off. Had to have been 20 years ago on that end of it. But it's interesting to say.
Kamal is now Kanmole.
Kamole, okay? And explain the menu or the authenticity behind Kamole. It's very authentic.
Go ahead.
Yona Smith, good morning.
I'll get us there.
Hey, Yona.
Dan Pettit asks if you're Chef Boyardee.
Chef Boyardee. Yep, totally Chef Boyardee. Just trying to have a little fun, Dan. That's all. I have a little bit of fun. Life's got a little too serious lately, so we're just trying to lighten things up a little bit and talk a little bit about the good stuff that's going on here in Charlottesville. But so
You got the Kamole authenticity.
Kanmole is Oaxacan.
Oaxacan.
We
right.
focus on
Oh, wow.
Oaxaca Mexican cuisine, offering a variety of
cool.
moles. Our menu is designed like no other, with plenty of vegetarian, vegan, and gluten-free options from all.
So that's 7 if I
lovers.
counted it right?
And the interesting thing about that restaurant, say it again for me, Judah.
Kanmole?
Kamole, the owner of Kamole, lives in Hogwaller and was previously the front of the house face or one of the front of the house faces of Mas Tapas. So for years, he ran the front of the house of Mas. And now he's got a restaurant that he owns in Belmont within eyesight of Mas Tapas.
So let's work our way.
It's beautiful.
Let's work our way from Belmont up to the corner,
Okay?
right? So, my go-to place at the moment anyway in Belmont is Tavola, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty much my go-to place for the moment anyway. The bartenders over there do a great job on the martini that I like on that end of it, and the food is just out, off the charts good. It reminds me of back home, right? The local Italian restaurant that had 10 tables in it that only the locals went to and all that stuff. But working our way up towards the downtown mall, what is your favorite, let's say lunch place? What if you want to grab a quick lunch from here? What's
Quick
your
lunch.
best?
That's one thing I think the downtown mall can improve upon. If you're on a set hour of lunch, I mean, you're have limited options. I mean, set hour of lunch. Does Citizen deliver in an hour? Citizen Burger Bar? If you have a set hour, that's going to be tough. I think Jack Brown's would turn it around in an hour. I
I've
think
done that. I've done
Revolutionary Soup would turn it around in 1
Done
hour.
that.
Yeah,
I think the
definitely.
pizza place in the old Impeccable Pig, is that Vita Nova?
Yep.
Yeah,
Vita Nova would turn it around in an hour. Christians
Bees.
would.
They're similar to Christians in that they'll have pre-made pizza.
Pre-made pies and slices ready to go.
Bagby's.
Bagby's will turn it around in an hour. If you can stay longer than an hour, I love the Steakhouse Burger at Citizen because I like the crunchy onion straws that they put on the burger. I really like the Steakhouse Burger. From a date night or eating out with my wife, we would likely do Zocalo or the Whiskey Jar. I think we would pick one of those two. Maybe Petit Pois or Fleury if we're feeling like an anniversary.
Yeah, I will tell you, if you go ahead and Google that, Fleury is constantly nationwide topped as one of the best French restaurants.
Oh, it's amazing. Brian Helleberg, the owner and proprietor of Fleury, friend of the program. He also owns Petit Pois,
Yes.
and he also owns the bakery across either from Petit Pois or Fleury. He's got 3 restaurants he owns.
Yeah,
So-
that place with the yellow awning.
Yeah, what is that called?
And
Do you know?
they used to
even
do cupcakes.
That's the one.
They used to do
I don't even
cupcakes.
know.
Well, that was a different business. That
Yeah.
was Capolino's Crazy Cakes, is what you're talking about. Helleberg owns a different business in there now.
My parents always go to Fleury for their
Fleury's-
anniversary.
and stuff.
That's baller. I mean, that's big time. I would expect nothing else from Big Jim Wickauer, who's got the champagne taste. And
Yeah, I don't know about that.
he's got a touch and feel for the luxury, Jim Wickauer does. That's Judah's dad, for those that don't know. I think they
Big
put that
Jim.
together. Fondly known as Big Jim Wickauer here. Anytime he wants to come on the program, he certainly can.
Look
I'll
at
let
look at
him
that
know.
big old smile on.
He loves his father.
Oh yeah.
His
Good for you.
father makes him very happy.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you. God bless you. That's a great thing. Great thing to do. So my go-to. So it's interesting. It really comes down to mood, right? So what you're in the mood for at that given moment. One of my favorite restaurants on the downtown mall is Bijou.
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 Yeah.
Bijou. My wife would pronounce it Bijou, but Bijou.
Yeah.
And it used to be the Metropolitan.
Yeah.
Way back when. And again, the reason I like it has this back home kind of feel. You walk past the kitchen.
What's the dish you get there?
Believe it or not, is the meatloaf.
Oh, well, that's what they're known for.
It's
That's
the
their
meatloaf.
most iconic
The
dish.
second one is their half chicken is out of this world.
Yeah. That's the best meatloaf I've ever had was at Bijou.
Well,
Have you ever had the meatloaf there, Judah?
I don't think I have.
It's dynamite.
yeah, it's out of this world. The
Yeah.
ketchup makes it. Their own
Yeah.
homemade ketchup makes the difference.
A good meatloaf is something
Well,
special.
it's bison,
Oh.
so it's not beef. It's a bison
Yeah.
meatloaf, and so it's kind of low on the fat. But if you add that little spicy homemade ketchup to it, it's
The owners of Bijou own Bang Tapas. They also own Crush Pad Wines. And they also own the venue, the space for private functions and parties. So you very much have a little mini empire there.
best steak. Where do you go for steak?
Best steak is, there's a handful of steak options we like. We often go to the Aberdeen Barn, like the prime rib at the Aberdeen Barn, like the ribeye, like the strip. Angela does a phenomenal job as the owner of the Aberdeen Barn. The cheese dip, the cheese container with the pretzel sticks you get beforehand are phenomenal. The key is not to get full from the pretzels and the cheese.
That's exactly right. That's the
Yeah.
trick.
Because you get a loaded baked potato with the
yeah.
bar,
Yeah.
with all the fixings,
Yeah, yeah.
and the ramekins that turn around. You know what I'm talking? Then you get the salad. So you got my problem is pacing myself at Aberdeen Barn.
Oh yeah.
Because I'll get like a beer or two and then fill up on the cheese, and I'm like, good God, I got a $50 steak coming here.
I've never had a problem pacing myself. And,
You have a voracious appetite.
I don't.
but
God
my-
bless
but
you.
see,
If-
it's all about taking it slow, and some people hate how slow.
You're the most methodical eater I've ever seen.
Yeah, because I'll just keep going, but I go slowly, so I don't have a problem. I'll eat like 5 or 6.
Are any of Judah Wickauer's sisters watching the program right now? Can you offer any perspective, Judah Wickauer's sisters, on Judah's eating speed?
so I think you and
My
I would give
grandmother
you a run
hated-
for your money.
My grandmother hated me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'd go to these really nice restaurants.
There's
and-
been times when we've been finishing up servicing clients in New Jersey, and it's like 7 o'clock at night.
And he's
We
still
just pull
eating.
a 12-hour in New Jersey when we were working up there, and next thing I know, we're at like a burger joint or a pizza spot, and we're eating after working literally 12 hours. And this phenomenal
Gentleman.
human being,
Gentleman.
phenomenal human being, is taking 90 minutes to finish his dinner, and I'm like, all I want to do is finish this food and get back to the hotel bar, please.
So you and I are very different. I'm more like you. We do the very European thing. It is nothing for us. A normal sit down. If we go out for dinner tonight, it's at least 2 to 3 hours.
Oh yeah, I mean,
You know, we will.
2 to 3 hours at a 10-table restaurant and you don't get any stares?
Do I care?
10 tables and you're sitting there for 3 hours?
Well, it's because they expect you to do that, right? Like it's
I don't know if they.
well, not everybody. Yeah. So I will tell you, we will when I go ahead and book a table, something like I will let them know. Look, we're going to be here for at least 2 hours. Do you have a problem with that? Right? But Yona and I will go out for dinner tonight. We'll at least do 2 hours at it. It's just we'll have a conversation. We'll talk. We very rarely get rushed through a meal. And if somebody rushes me, I'll just kindly say, you know, we're okay. And if you need this table for somebody else, and find us another place to go, and we'll finish our meal, to go ahead and do that. But yeah, we'll. I mean, I maybe that's just me living in Europe and being around Europeans for a while. But it's nothing to have a several-hour meeting.
Oh no,
dinner,
I certainly.
lunch too, by the way.
Yeah. So big news on the television. We're not going to talk about this now, but if you guys are streaming in your car, the Supreme Court just overturned Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, I see that.
This is historical news that I think undoubtedly, I think this is safe to say, my son will be learning about this in history class, right, in high school.
no doubt.
Don't you think I can say that confidently,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, it was a big deal when it was first passed.
Huge deal now.
Yeah.
We won't talk the politics of this
No.
On Real Talk, but that is the breaking news that happened minutes ago
As we walked in.
as we walked in.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have to read up on that and kind of figure out.
Well, I mean, what they've overturned, the Supreme Court said there is no longer a federal constitutional right for an abortion.
Yeah. So, and it's not like one of these things you can appeal it to somebody.
I mean, this is the highest court in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Does that mean now the states get to make their?
Going forward,
Yeah.
abortion rights will be determined by states unless there's an act from Congress. So now the autonomy and the
Got
empowerment
it.
is in the hands of states, and we already have seen a handful of states in the free union saying that they're going to oppose abortion with policy and legislation.
And I've got an
So-
article here talking about how Virginia abortion providers are already prepping for an influx of
Right now.
out-of-state patients.
yeah.
Yeah, half of the states have already indicated that they will pass abortion banning policy in the near future. So half of the states are already in the process of doing this.
So just that this at some level is a real estate show. I'm wondering what the impacts on real estate is going to be. People moving from one state to another because of their beliefs. That may happen.
Maybe.
I mean, you've seen the economy do that, right? People leaving California for other states because of taxes and
We
stuff
see
like
mainly folks moving to Florida because of no state income tax. Will we see people move states because of abortion policy? Time will tell. Only time will tell. I could see people maybe moving perhaps more for the state income tax freedom than the abortion policy, but perhaps that could be the case. Perhaps that could be the case. How about this question for you? The non-dining districts, which are Midtown, the Downtown Mall, and Belmont, of the non-dining districts, non-dining areas, where do you go?
Wow, that's a great question. I was actually thinking about that this morning. So it's funny. We live at Lake Monticello. We'll come into Charlottesville to dine. That doesn't mean And it's funny. I was about to get ready to ask you about best pizzas,
Uh-huh.
right? Actually, Villanova's at Lake Monticello, across from the Food Lion. The folks that own it are from New York. They actually make pizza like back home. So actually, they're the best pizza that I like in town. It's gonna be in the area, but my go-to pizza is Lampo. I love Lampo pizza, and unfortunately, it's right next to my office. So I tend to get them a little more than I should. That's the reason I have to put an hour bike ride, 45 minutes or an hour bike ride every morning in to kind of kill some of the thing. We are not, and it's, maybe this will come out the wrong way. It's like, I don't go to Starbucks, right? It's just the way the owner and I shop.
Well, I mean, there's local restaurants on Route 29. There are local restaurants in Crozet. There are local restaurants in Pantops.
29 North, I don't think we go up to eat that way.
Pantops ever?
But
Barracks
out of
ever?
29 North, what locally owned restaurants?
Taste Shack is phenomenal. Justin Vanderlyn, formerly the
I've
owner
been
of...
wanting to go there,
It's phenomenal.
but I don't think they're open on Sundays.
They've had a labor shortage, which has impacted hours. I believe you're correct on Sundays. I would very much encourage you to do that.
Yeah.
The guy understands comfort food extremely well.
Oh yeah, I used to love it when he
Carving board.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
and his
carving
wife were
board, that-
running
yeah.
carving
that
board.
That was
place-
previously
that place is
owned
incredible.
by Justin and his wife Candace.
Candace, yeah.
Candace works for Remax, now a realtor. Now Taste
Just did a
Shack.
deal with her. It was great.
She's fantastic. The family's fantastic. I would encourage folks to try that spot. Peter Chang's is a Whitcower favorite. In fact,
Yeah.
he ate there on Sunday.
Yeah, so I consider that in the urban ring of Charlottesville, Peter Chang's. I love Peter. I'm not personally not a huge Chinese food.
Route 29's urban ring.
Yeah, when you say 29, I'm thinking over by Target and
Hollymead.
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 If people haven't been to Peter Chang's, you've got to try the cilantro fish rolls.
Okay.
They are amazing.
Cilantro fish rolls. You got that Sunday?
Oh, my mom and I split an order of them. I think they come with 6. And
The beautiful and
That's-
well-versed and well-read Ann Whitcower.
Definitely. That's the first thing we order every time we go there.
Vanessa Parkhill watching the program, Queen of Earlysville. Say hi to Vanessa Judah.
So
Vanessa?
She was giving you props yesterday, Vanessa was. She has
Always good to
this
hear from
comment. She says, Jerry, Judah, and Keith, Martin's and Riverside North serve up great burgers near Forest
Oh, yeah.
Lakes.
There you go.
My parents and I went to Martin's, I don't know, a few months ago, and they were just really busy.
They're like right
and
across the street from each other almost. Right?
They are. The
And
owner
they were-
of Martin's is Mike Copany. Mike has come on the program. I Love
they-
Seville show.
They were a little bit off that day, and some things didn't come, and whatever. My dad filled out one of the comment cards, and he got a call, and we went back there because they gave us an entire meal free
Is that true?
for all of us. Yeah,
Oh, Mike, well done.
definitely, and really superb burgers.
What did Jim write on those comment cards?
Oh, I think he just said, you had some really good food, but it seemed like you guys weren't paying attention, and some of our
And they
stuff-
made it up to you.
they definitely did.
And now you're singing their praises.
It's a great place.
You know what? That's the thing is, like, I think all of us here, I'm always willing to give a second and third chance.
Oh, for sure.
Because
How many times has that been given to you?
Well, I mean, in particular, food and beverage.
Sure.
Like, there's so many moving parts in food and beverage, and this like economy and this market we're in is so precarious and vulnerable that if a restaurant is not on their A+ game right now, it may not necessarily be like even knowledge to the owner that they're not on their A game.
It's an interesting thought because I mentioned this earlier show. I had a conversation with the owner of Bagby's when I was picking
Yeah.
up lunch for everybody.
Front of the program.
And same thing. He apologized. We don't have enough people. Apologize for lack of service.
He and his son are grinding in there.
Without a doubt. And I said, look, man, no worries. I understand. We're good. Everybody gives a little bit of patience to one another on that kind of great stuff. And to Judah's point, to him it was a nice gesture. But I actually got an extra couple of bags of chips in the
Nice.
sandwiches I picked up. And I didn't realize that until I got back to
It goes a long way, gestures like that.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
being kind, and particularly nowadays, being kind to one another is just a commodity you just don't see as much anymore. And just being kind and thoughtful, like Judah's dad say. And I'm sure he wasn't mean spirited.
No,
He wasn't
definitely
whatever.
No, the owners want to have that feedback.
Yeah.
They may not want that feedback on social media or on Yelp from a review form, which
Well,
those
that's
are
the
the
prob-
worst things.
That's
you
the
could-
problem, is airing your dirty laundry
Yeah.
without bringing it to the
Don't
attention
do that,
of
right.
the business. It's
Exactly.
Like they want you to have a great experience, and if you just like completely bypass, the people that run the place, and just
Put it on social media.
Yeah,
That's
you-
not helping anyone.
No, it just makes you look like a
A D-bag,
yeah.
right? Isn't that what you were going to say?
Well, yes, something along those lines.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll get myself, again, continually get myself into trouble today. So have the courage to do that. Have the courage to write a note down. Have the courage to pick up the phone and say, hey, Jerry, look, I honestly, I believe in you. I believe in what you do, and I believe in everything. But I got to tell you, this was my experience.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you, I would rather get constructive feedback all day long. And praise is great, right? Everybody needs praise. Praise is a good thing, you know.
Praise is overrated.
Every once in a while, it's a good thing. Yes. Hey, Judah, you do a great job, buddy.
Praise is overrated. It's your
Pra-
job. Do your job.
Praise,
Why do you
thank,
need praise for your job?
praise, thank you. Well done. It's just called being human, Jerry. And does anybody here know what a mensch is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be a mensch. It's
Yeah.
Be a mensch.
Yiddish.
Yeah.
Yiddish. Be a mensch means.
Is that the elf on the shelf? I'm just joking. We know what a mensch is.
No.
Have you seen Elf on the Shelf?
Is it a movie?
Elf on the Shelf. It comes out at Christmas. You put an
Yeah,
elf
well,
on the
I know
shelf.
what it is, but
Yeah. No, they're turning it into a franchise. There's like a book. There's a stuffed animal.
Yeah,
There's something you move every night. So when your kid comes down, like every night it's moved. Yeah, he's like, oh my God, how did the elf get on the
so
mantle?
that's the flip side.
How did the elf get on the Christmas
So
tree?
that's the flip side to social media, right? Which is what we're on at the moment, right? That came up pretty good. But reach out. Most business owners, really care and they want to do a good thing. And as you mentioned earlier, they may not have known that the back of the cows screwed up something,
Yeah.
right? Say, hey,
If you're going to offer feedback, probably the best way you can offer feedback is how Big Jim Whitcower did,
Yeah.
where he put it in the feedback box and didn't put it on Yelp or Facebook. It got directly to the owner, and then the owner reaches out to him and says, we'll make it up to you.
yeah.
I mean, how does it get any better than that? And I'm sure that like fortified or strengthened the relationship Big Jim has with Martin's now.
and
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
be, and you are
Right?
You are a customer for life,
Yeah, well, I mean, look, we're talking about it.
right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
a customer.
And I don't-
You're
and
a
I don't-
customer for life,
I
right?
don't remember the guy's name, but whoever the
Mike
man-
is the owner.
No, but and it might have been Mike who came and was helping us out when my dad showed his, he was just great. He came up. He was.
It's probably Mike.
It probably was.
Yeah, he's come on the show.
Yeah.
Aaron King, good morning. We love you, Aaron King.
So anybody who's chiming in, what is your favorite? Let's change it around from.
Well, why don't we ask this? Aaron King, Queen of Scottsville. When you and the talented chef Rick Cato go out, what anniversary are you guys on now? You guys have been dating for a while. When you guys are going out, where do you go for an anniversary dinner? Would love to hear your take. She knows restaurants like the Pope knows holy water, inside and out. I would say the Pope knows holy water.
Well, I would hope
Probably.
so. He's
Yeah.
Catholic.
He's the Pope.
He's the Pope.
And Aaron knows restaurants like the Pope knows
He
holy
be,
water.
He be the Pope. He be the guy. So the question I was going to ask was, maybe we pivoted away from, the best restaurant. What's the best service that you've had? Consistent service, and is that so? One of the reasons I like Tavola so much is not so much the martini. Martini's pretty simple. It's two ingredients,
Yeah.
right? But the reason I go there is
My wife likes Tavola's martini. Don't you, sweetheart?
So the question for her is, which gin does she get?
She's watching the program. She encourages everybody to check out Chickadee.
Oh,
That was the breakfast sandwich pick I sent you.
Yeah.
Chickadee is in the Glass building
Oh, okay.
By what are some examples?
Par-
by Paradox Pastry.
Paradox Bakery.
Paradox Pastry, yeah.
The Sultan
Yeah.
Kebab
Sultan Kebab.
over there.
And they sell breakfast sandwiches. And she's a New Yorker like you are.
Yeah.
She's not a fan of microwaved eggs.
Oh, my God.
She hates
good.
microwave eggs, my wife.
Yeah.
I don't
And
blame
I'm
her.
sweating, so I'm taking the hat off.
Yeah, she hates microwaved eggs.
Yeah.
She went to Chickadee and said, it's not microwave eggs. The breakfast sandwich is humongous, and it comes with hash browns.
So speaking about
Homemade hash browns.
Is this real hash browns or
Real
country
hash-
fries?
Real hash browns.
Oh.
It's like a hash brown patty. Is that what you're asking?
Well, there's a difference. So it's actual. It's so hash browns are hash browns. They chop them up and they do that.
No, it's a patty. It's a patty.
It's a
It's like
patty.
the,
That's still like hash browns. There's
Lauren, are those real hash browns? Would you call those real hash browns, Lauren? She loved it. She is one of the most, my wife is an amazing human, and I'm fortunate to be with her. She is very difficult to please when it comes to food.
I'm always on the lookout for places that actually serve hash browns, and there are so few.
So
in
few serve hash
Charlottesville.
browns. For me, it's grits. I freaking love grits. And there's very few places that serve grits. The Nook has grits. And the Nook has grits where you can add like cheese and chives and bacon.
Sure.
And then you like mix it up and it almost turns into like a stew or a porridge. Dude, I could eat that all day long.
So if Lauren is still watching,
She is. And Erin King has an answer for where she goes to a date for her 7-year. She's been with Rick for 7 years. I remember when you got together, Erin. Erin, we are getting old. We're getting old, Erin
Let's
King.
find out where the date
Congratulations
night is, and
on
then
7
we'll
years.
ask your lovely wife a question.
Erin King, who works for Feast, and is, if anyone, and I am always hyping you, Erin King, because I think you're a badass. If anyone needs someone to run their business, Erin King can run the business from start to finish, soup to nuts. She says, Rick and I have been together for 7 years. Her husband's a chef, friend of the program. He's a great guy. We typically celebrate at home. I am loving Siren right now, however. When it's a very special occasion, it's Ivy Inn or Fleury, of course. She has good taste. She knows food.
Yeah, Ivy Inn is a good second. I will tell you, my second Italian place is Vivace,
Oh, Vivace's amazing.
right? You know, and it's a different.
Love Vivace.
It's a different experience, right?
I'm at Vivace maybe once a week.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
maybe once a week, Vivace.
Yeah. So Vivace, you get a little more, right?
Have you had the pizza at Vivace yet?
I have not had the pizza.
Pizzas. I had a prosciutto and arugula pizza from Vivace while sitting at the bar. This was after playing some squash. Went there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's right next door.
Yeah. Sure.
Went there, had a hazy IPA.
Yeah.
Got a basket of popcorn for Vivace. Sat at the bar, watched some television. Ordered an arugula and prosciutto pizza, and it was dynamite. The pizza at Vivace is one of the best kept pizza secrets in Charlottesville.
I got to do that. I did not.
Sit at the bar.
So the reason I'm a pasta snob, right? If you can't make pasta al dente, please don't serve it to me.
You're saying it's got to stick to the wall?
It's got to crunch a little bit.
When you throw it against the wall, does it stick?
Well, al dente is more of a texture kind of thing, but
Okay.
yes, some people do it different ways.
When
But-
I grew up, al dente means you throw it against the wall and it sticks to the wall.
yeah, that just means that it's got a little bit too much starch in it.
Okay.
It's sticking to the wall. But al dente, nobody actually really throws pasta to the wall, Jerry. But
My grandma did.
Your grandmother did?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there
Yeah.
you go. My Italian grandmother was off the boat, who came over from Italy. It's the texture of it. It's it has to crunch a little bit when you do that. But I do want to get back to your lovely Better 7/8.
Yeah, she's watching. She just commented.
Yeah. So, Lauren, what one food category, or what do you miss from back home? Because her and I are from the same part of the world. What does she miss the most?
Man, I think that would be really difficult for her to answer.
Oh,
Lauren,
I think actually what I miss and she missed might be the same thing.
so she spent almost a decade working for Blackstone, living in the Upper East Side in Manhattan. She was in her late 20s and early 30s before she met me and moved down here to the dark side, okay, from Manhattan. Left a
Well,
six-figure
Manhattan's a young person's game.
left
Trust
a
me.
six-figure job to move down south to Virginia, where she's at home with a 4-year-old now.
And watching the show.
and watching the show right now. She loves food. Food is her passion.
Oh, yeah.
Food is my passion.
Yeah.
I think would you say the breakfast sandwiches, Lauren? Is that what you would say you missed the most from New York? I mean, she's a big Flex Mussels fan, which is a Manhattan institution. She loves mussels. She loves Thai food. She loves.
So I'm a huge mussel fan too, because you get them back home we used to fish with mussels, right? We used to fish for flounder with them, and then you would buy a bushel of them, and whatever you had left over from bait, you went home and cooked it up, and whatever fish that you caught. But I will let Lauren answer a little bit. But the one where I'm going on this is about this quick lunch, right? This quick New York. What are you going to get to eat? For breakfast, for lunch, and I miss a really, really, really good deli.
a good deli. We don't have a good Jewish deli.
We don't have a good Jewish deli. We don't have a good Italian deli. And they've tried a bunch of times. What was
We had a Jewish deli on
Nosh.
Yeah, it was
Jewish
Nosh.
Mother from Virginia Beach was in here. Didn't.
Was Jewish Mother in
Yeah,
Charlottesville?
Jewish Mother was in Charles. Very short period of time.
Okay, it was definitely Nosh that was there on Water Street and York Plaza that closed. She says, what I miss from New York that Charlottesville needs to improve upon, well, drinks on the water is going to be difficult.
Well, she can. No. Lauren, I got you
Lake
covered.
Monticello.
Lauren, I've got you covered.
You're going to the Dogwood restaurant, Lauren, at
I've
Lake
got-
Monticello.
I've got you covered.
Hello, Quentin Beckham.
It's
Good to
Mr.
see you, my
Beckham.
friend. Oh, you're looking sharp, Quentin. She
Look
says,
at you. We got
drinks on the water could be difficult in Central Virginia. She says she misses tuna steak. We go to studio camera, then a 4-shot, get QB in the mix. She misses tuna steak and breakfast sandwiches and some street meat. Some street meat.
Look at that, huh?
And look, you even got a refreshing water in front of you as well, Quentin Beckham.
That's a dark water.
I know.
We're talking to
The Macklin building, the pipes are rusted here. That's the water that comes out there, Quentin.
I thought maybe it was cough syrup.
It is. It's cough syrup. I've been coughing a lot
And
lately.
that's just the way you like it too, by the way. That's the kind of style that you like. my
Of
friend.
cough syrup.
Yes, of course, true. Of course, true. Okay.
So we're talking to.
We got Quentin Beckham in the Fowls. First, let's introduce him.
Yeah.
He's the principal of Keller Williams Alliance. He owns a number of businesses locally. He's got a very festive shirt on. He is.
It's summer. We had the solstice. We're officially in summer.
I think you look great.
I'm embracing it.
I think you look great. He is an aficionado. He is a food, of booze, of bicycles, of fast cars. He has many friends. He loves a good meal out. He is a fan of happy hour. He likes to close deals, and most importantly, he likes to empower the people around him with confidence and to better their lives. Folks, let's welcome Quentin Beckham to
He'll
Real
follow
Talk.
you around all day.
Let's welcome Quentin
my
Beckham
gosh.
to Real Talk.
I feel like I'm done now and I should leave.
How are you, my friend?
It doesn't get any better than that.
I'm doing good. I apologize for being tardy.
No problem. You're a busy man.
I was on the phone with an agent and it was very important. I had to do that.
So how did it go? Did we
Yeah,
save
you
it?
got a job.
It went well.
You got a
went
job.
well. Good.
Good
So
conversation.
we should ask Quentin, what is, and I think we already know the answer to this.
Well, maybe not.
We're talking, what is the go-to restaurant now for a man who goes to a lot of restaurants in Quentin Beckham?
Oh gosh, I still just have a great love of Tavola.
Okay. You guys both do.
Yeah.
We may or may not be sit at the corner of the bar from.
Did
time to
he
time.
turn you on to Tavola?
No.
And is it Tavola or Tavola? Do we know?
I switch it up so that I cover all my bases.
Okay, same with me.
I don't really know.
That's what I'm doing too.
Yeah. So it's Tavola.
Is it?
It's Tavola.
He says with 100% confidence.
Yeah.
100% assurity.
Do we know for certain, Quentin, it's that way?
You have to remember that much like ministers, the more certain he sounds, the more you should double check and make sure that he's right.
Much like
Who the hell
ministers,
invited
he
you?
just
Oh, I
said.
did.
You did.
Sorry.
You did. Evan Hansen will agree with
It's
me.
Tavola. So I'll tell you what. We'll settle this argument.
Do you know what it means?
Table
No.
means table.
Oh,
Table.
It's
okay.
Italian for table.
Think I
So
should either.
we will settle this argument next week because one of our clients, Yona and I's clients, actually is from Italy and actually teaches Italian at UVA. So we will find out the proper pronunciation of it.
That doesn't mean that that's what the owner intended.
Oh, well then there's that.
Yeah, the owner's intent could be different than the actual word.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling choked up.
He's got his cough syrup here. Cough syrup's going down. Kevin Higgins is watching the
You got
program.
like a T-shirt underneath there?
Yeah.
Look at you. Look at you. So we're trying to have a conversation with Jerry's Better 7/8 because we went back to what
We got a lot of comments coming in too.
what she misses the most about back home, back on Long Island, back in New York.
Oh, got you.
And we were off on a tangent about what I miss the most is a good deli,
Yeah,
right?
I think my dad's biggest regret about moving to Charlottesville is not having a Jewish deli.
Oh God, I miss so the closest Jewish real.
This is where he says Pearlie's in Richmond.
We spend too much
Too
time.
much time together.
So,
And you know why I like it? You know why I like it the most about it? The food is really good. They've got the attitude down,
Yeah.
right? When you walk in there, it's like, what do you want?
It's very Seinfeld-esque.
Very Seinfeld-esque. You know, it's like I went there just a couple of weeks ago. I took Yona. I love the matzo ball soup. We went there to get some matzo ball soup, a little bit of a Reuben, and the waitress was just giving me this attitude on it. And I leaned over and I said, thanks. And she goes, what's that for? I said, I missed that attitude. You know, I missed that. They made the food taste so much better. And she smiled and turned around and walked away.
dining out is about the experience as much as it is about the food.
I'd say Beckham's top three. I'm starting to get to know you a little bit. Top three most frequented establishments in Charlottesville for Quentin Beckham are Tavola, Aberdeen Barn, and Bert and
Alley Light.
Elena's Kitchen.
Yes, although Bert and Elena's Kitchen is a close competition for
Tavola.
for the guy that gives me Botox. So if we're just talking establishments.
I didn't know
Hold
you
it.
were.
How did we get on Botox?
I didn't know you were Botoxing it up these
Hold it,
days.
hold it.
It's for headaches.
Is that why there's no wrinkles on the forehead these days?
You know what? I never realized.
I'm
Man's
due. You can tell I'm due.
So we're going to talk about, we're going to confess about Botox and stuff like that today?
I don't know. Is Rachel watching? We could all confess.
Right,
together.
I can text her if you want me to. Rachel Burns, you want to get in the mix? Big fan of the big friend of the show, Rachel Burns.
Actually, her name came up on the conversation yesterday. We need to
Kevin
get her on the
Higgins
show.
watching the program for Quentin and Keith. Courage. We need to have courage to take back Charlottesville. We need to take back our extended city. Albemarle is Charlottesville, and that takes courage. We have the best restaurants, breweries, wineries, cideries, university, and people anywhere. And I will add our mayor to the list from personal experience, Lloyd Snook. What are we waiting on? Let's go. I am bullish on Charlottesville and Albemarle, and our health system is performing miracles every minute of every day. He's proud to live in the area.
Amen, brother.
Kevin Higgins. Well said.
Kevin. Well said. And a follow-up to Kevin.
But we still miss a kosher deli.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
But a couple tried here and wasn't too successful. I know, like we were talking about, the Jewish mother was here.
You weren't
Nosh-
supporting them?
I was.
Nosh.
Nosh was here. I
Yeah.
literally was.
Oh, I don't think I was ever at Nosh. Was that before my time?
No,
No, that
it was
just
at Water
recently.
Street.
So it was over.
York Place.
What's in that space now?
Maybe now that there's more parking downtown, I'll be able to,
I don't think that
to
space
go to more
has ever
restaurants.
done well.
So you have.
A lot of turnover at that space. There's
Yeah.
something in there now, I believe. I don't know if you
So
can
it's
find
like
it.
another Turkish.
I think you're right.
kind of thing. So you have. It used to be.
Before
I think it's a pasta place now. It used to be the crepe place, Petite Marie Bet. Now it's.
No.
No,
That's a different
no.
location. That is a different location.
Yeah, before
Cray Place is a standalone spot, and Petite Marie Bet is further down Water Street toward the C&O Roadhouse's side. Where the Nosh spot that we're talking
right on
about
the corner.
is on the corner of Water and Second
Kitty corner from Mono Loco.
from Mono Loco. Yeah,
and
yeah.
and before
Isn't
that,
that a place we all miss?
before that it was a ramen spot.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, Mono Loco is now Uma, which is the satellite restaurant of, man, why am I drawing a blank on the Mama spot? Mama Bird on the farmer's market. She opened up a new brand in the old Mono Loco spot called Uma, and they're going to make a push, which I find this courageous and I find this intelligent and strategic and smart. They're making a push at Uma, the old Mono Loco, to be the 2022 version of Escafé, where they want to be a positive place for folks of all mindsets to come and hang out and play and have a good time. So a fan of the show is trying to walk in to see Quentin Beckham in his Hawaiian shirt. The director is having to play security guard right now while directing the show. This is what
Yeah,
happens
I'm sorry,
when you
I
hang
was
out
in-
with
just-
Quentin Beckham.
Apparently,
I left
they.
my normal security behind.
Yeah.
I was in a hurry this morning.
Are they still here? So that's interesting. Do you remember Escafé? Were you here when Escafé was
So I was
around?
visiting regularly.
Uh-huh.
And so, yes, I remember the original Escafé.
So that used to be in where the
Where the whiskey jar was,
Whiskey jar is,
and
yeah.
then it moved to Water Street.
That's right.
And then it moved to Water Street.
Where,
Interestingly,
was it OXO before that?
It was Quinn Peckham. Nicely done. Where the whiskey jar is now, the whiskey jar is owned by Mark Brown, the parking czar, who also owns the Water Street parking lot. And Escafé was previously at where Whiskey Jar is now.
So get back to this because I'm hung up on this Jewish deli. So why do you all think a Jewish deli isn't successful here? Because it's tried a couple of times. To me, it seems like a perfect fit for this town, but just because never seems like because there was another Italian specialty food and deli over by the Fashion Square Mall. Now I think they sell like Kubota or stuff like that. It was years ago. I can't remember the name of it.
Why does a Jewish deli not cut the?
Mustard.
Why does it?
I think
Oh,
the problem
Lord.
with Nosh was partially location, and
Yeah, I
I think
would
my
agree with
dad
that.
went there and said that it was okay, but it wasn't. You know,
I don't think the Jewish deli. The saying should be, "Why does the Jewish deli not cut the mustard in Charlottesville?" I think it should be like, "Why doesn't it cut the lox?"
right.
Or something along
I
those
don't
lines
know.
there in
I don't
Charlottesville.
know. I don't know. If you go to
I'm
Pearlie's,
increasingly want to change the subject.
I would say, Aaron King is wondering what happened to Modern Nosh on Water Street. I mean, why do we think they can't hang out? Why can't another bagel place not make it in Charlottesville?
well, that makes sense.
Why?
Because that's hard to beat what Bodo's does.
Yeah,
But
Right.
does anyone understand that though? Why there's not another bagel spot in Charlottesville?
Yeah. So
Because
Does anyone
wants to go
understand that?
against
So
them.
I think it's demographic. So it's like at Lake Monticello, right? There's a reason why there's gates at Lake Monticello to keep the Yankees in, right? And you would think out around Lake Monticello, a good deli or something that attracts 15,000 Yankees would do well, but they never seem to do well because of either location or demographics or whatever. But something like Pearlie's, I just don't understand why that isn't able to survive here.
I mean, we've talked about this on previous shows. There's not a super robust Jewish community in Charlottesville or in the area. So is that perhaps why the Jewish deli is not surviving?
Got nothing to do.
I don't think it has anything to do with it because I'm Southern Baptist, my wife's Catholic, and we would both undoubtedly patronize a Jewish deli.
So between the two of you, you're Anglican?
Yeah, what are we? What is our son, right? If I'm Southern Baptist and she's Catholic,
What
what
is
is
your
our
son?
son?
Well, you've got a religious back, right? You've got a religious.
I have a degree in theology.
Yeah.
He has a degree in theology.
No, I know he does.
It's
And he
old,
was a
it's out of
nurse, and now he's a
What,
businessman.
theology or you?
You know, God's so much more current than my degree is.
Got it.
I'm sure there's things I just don't understand anymore.
Yeah, well.
He's very well versed. I mean, he's
Oh.
philosopher, theology, medical, nurse.
Okay, enough already.
No, I mean, he owns a boatload of businesses,
And not too bad I'm picking out shirts.
rides bicycles,
This
fast
was an
cars.
Amazon order.
Really?
Yeah.
Not too bad. Well done. I've
Not
never
bad
or-
for ordering online.
I'm about to
I'm
say,
not
I've-
big on it.
I've never ordered a piece of clothing online. I might have to rethink that. So apparently we're changing the subject off that.
So I'm not sure why a kosher deli can't survive. I am really confused about why someplace like Juice Laundry is so popular. Because I've tried multiple drinks,
that's
and maybe
funny.
it's my lack of commitment to personal health. Maybe it's because I don't like to drink things that are ochre brown in color and have a texture that
Cough
reminds
syrup.
me of
Cough syrup.
yeah.
Well, didn't you tell the viewers and listeners what your
Referring.
what you wanted to do in January? You said it's coffee, bourbon only,
Yeah, so I used to drink a lot of soda.
soda. You cut it out.
Coca-Cola, Mountain Dew, things with a lot of sugar and a variety of acids in them. And so in January, I stopped doing that because, the camera adds weight, but a lot of this is also just mine. And so, we were going,
Most of it's yours.
The camera adds. It's
Yeah.
the camera, Quentin. It's the
you
camera.
can cut him out now.
The camera.
Most of it is yours.
Yeah, most of it's just mine. And
I
so I
love
was
you, I'm just
sitting,
being
I was
honest.
sitting and they had the
I love
was
when
at
you
a-
come here, Quentin.
I was at a doctor's appointment and they sat me in front of a nutritionist and she's like, so we have all these bad habits. And she's listing off all my bad habits. And I was really, really upset. I was like, I think we're going to need to start simpler. If you ask me to give up everything at once, it's just not going to happen.
So you
I
gave
need
up the Coca-Cola.
And so now it's just, I found a carbonated water, Gerolsteiner, that I really like. So, because I like the carbonation, that was a lot of my addiction
The bubble,
to the soda
the
pop.
whole bubble, yeah.
I like the bubbles things. And I only drink that and coffee and bourbon, the occasional unsweetened black tea. And I've lost 18 pounds. since
Nice.
January, just on that.
Congratulations, man. Good for you. And plus, you're biking regularly too. I'm watching you
Yeah.
on Strava. Oh, I'm
Regularly
watching
might
you.
be an exaggeration. but
I'm watching you. You're underselling that a little bit. I'm tracking you on Strava
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So did Mrs. Miller chime in on what she misses the most?
Yeah, she says a good tuna steak. She misses quite a bit. She agrees on the Jewish deli. And obviously, drinks on the water are going to be tough in Central Virginia. But she was accustomed growing up on Long Island and Southampton to having drinks on the water. But she says a good tuna steak. Any tuna steak suggestions out there? I believe Zocalo has a good tuna steak. Am I
Gosh, I
mistaken
haven't
on
been
that?
there in forever.
I have.
You would like Zocalo.
I
Good
have
cocktails.
been there. It's just been a very long time.
I've always followed this philosophy.
Every 3 years, when they change something on their menu, I show up,
Yeah,
try
right.
the new thing, and then it's 3 more years.
Which is a testament to Ivan Rekash, that he doesn't have to change the menu.
It's a good menu.
And he still does well.
Yeah, it's a good menu.
To Quentin's point, the Zocalo menu is known for being consistent and not changing.
Yeah.
Which is his point, which is a good point here.
So it's interesting. We don't really have a fish focused. That was hard for me to say.
We do
fish-
now.
Well, you've got Public.
Public.
Yeah,
but
public.
Public is
and the people
more.
that are taking over Mangionis are Mediterranean seafood, aren't they?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they are.
I don't know.
I think that's what Elena mentioned to me on social. And Siren is very Mediterranean fish.
So Publix, I go there for the oysters. That's kind of, if we're going to go get oysters, that's where I go for oysters. So I never really get beyond the oysters at that particular.
Oh, you have to stay for a whole meal. They have a really good.
I have not
They
done
have
that.
some good food there. I also have an oyster limit. I like oysters until I don't, and it's usually around 6.
Oh.
Half a dozen. About half a dozen of them. I'm done.
Is it because they don't fill you up?
I don't know.
So how do you,
Yeah, I also-
how do you eat them? Raw or
I eat them all across
Raw.
the board.
raw?
raw.
Got
Have
it.
you had fried oysters? They're damn good.
So I will tell you back on
I don't like the texture for fried oysters. It sounds like it feels like I'm eating a doorstop.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he
Yeah, it's
likes
just It's an
raw.
odd texture.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I have the same issue with bread pudding. It
Horseradish on the oyster?
Yes.
Me too.
Are you a sweets guy? Do you like sweets? Or?
I don't have a ton of sweets,
Yeah.
but I consume them other ways. I get plenty of sugars.
Have you had the happy hour at Public? It's phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well,
I mean, you got 3 people here that very much enjoy happy hour. 4 people. Judah enjoys happy hour as well.
When I can make
I also have this sort of, growing up where I did so much closer to the ocean,
Yeah.
I sort of have this prejudice that we're far away, and so
So I was literally going to say that.
all sushi, all fish, all things are suspect to me.
Yeah, but I got to stop you on sushi because now and Zen.
I'm just saying, I didn't say it was logical,
Yeah.
but, now and Zen's awesome.
Now and Zen. So we had our youngest daughter and son-in-law in for Father's Day, and they, as we talked about on Wednesday, announced that we're going to be grandfather times 3, which is exciting.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Why do you always try to catch up with me? What is this competition?
I don't know if you heard this, though.
How many grandkids do you have?
3.
Really?
Quentin, this is actually breaking news.
I knew it.
Keith and Yona and the entire Smith family has enjoyed the relationship with KWA and Yes Realty Partners so much that the 3rd grandchild is now going to be Quentin Beckham Smith.
That's such a lot.
Quentin, they're naming him after you. Quentin Beckham Smith.
Yeah. I just got disowned from my family.
I just completely made that up.
I
100%
just
made that
got
up.
disowned from my family. Thank you very much. I had to ask permission, by the way, from my daughter if I could actually talk
Right.
about this.
You did
I would
Wednesday.
also
though.
like to point out that
I did prior to Wednesday.
Yeah, I
this
know
is
you
not
did.
the first time you've been disowned by your family, and I resent that you made it about that.
Well, on previous shows, he forgot his daughter's age and her middle name.
No, I forgot her first name.
Yeah, on previous shows.
Yeah. Okay. How about them Mets?
My mom used to do that, but she'd just shout all over her names.
How about this one? This is not Rachel Burns that's watching.
Did she do the smacking as she was? Yeah.
This is Rachel Smith that's watching, not Burns. Burns, if you are watching, let us know.
we
Everybody here
related?
likes you. Smith, Rachel says this. What do Quint and Keith get at Tavola? My husband and I go there.
Oh.
We've been there once, and we trust their recommendation.
You go first.
I almost always get the pork Milanese,
That one's
and I
good.
try to go in groups because that's my favorite dish, and so I always want it when I'm there. But I want other people to order things that I can steal bites off of.
That's very
They had a
good.
really good fish special last week.
Yeah.
We've had several meals there, actually. Their carbonara is my favorite in town.
Carbonara is what I order.
Yeah. It's also really good to take home and have for breakfast. Just, like if
A
maybe
late
you were
breakfast,
up
not
late.
an early breakfast.
No, a late breakfast. When
Late
you've been out
breakfast.
late, it's a Friday night, maybe
Yeah.
you imbibed a little much. It's a great
Too
day
much.
after.
Too much cough syrup.
Too much cough syrup. It's a great day after breakfast.
Too much cough
The
syrup.
the carbonara is
If
literally
you
what
notice,
I
have
order.
more cough syrup over there in case. You
Yeah.
I saw that.
Let's just say that he's not going to be pouring again. QB. Let's put it that way. The carbonara. My only beef with Tavola is this, and we got a lot of folks watching. My only beef with Tavola, and it's a fair beef, and it just shows you how much I like the restaurant. Is I devour the food. I wish the portion sizes were a little larger. Now I understand the pasta's homemade. I wish the portion size were a little
Well,
bit.
that was my comparison between.
Well, that's
Bavaria-
interesting because I always take stuff home.
Really.
Yeah, and look at the two of us. How does that work?
You don't finish the plate.
Oh no, there's always
The
one
carbonara
piece
you
of-
don't finish.
Well, no, that's for breakfast. But
So you two entree order.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's why you're not finishing the food. I'm a one entree order here.
So it's
No. But I'm saying even when I only have the pork, there's always a piece of pork left over.
Gotcha. So when you're one, okay.
Now I might spend longer than you because we usually show up and we have a drink and we might have an appetizer and then more people show up and we have another drink and,
And that's
a different
what
appetizer.
one of the things I
and
love
we
about
sort of spread it
We
out.
spend hours there.
wow. That's something. That's one of the things I love about your friend Elena and Bert at Mangioni's. It was very family style. Like so, when you went to Mangioni's, you could not help but have leftovers.
I also really like, COVID's been really hard on restaurants.
Yeah.
But one of the changes it brought around at Tavola that I'm a big fan of is you can have dinner at the bar.
Yep.
And,
Chat with the bartender.
Love it.
Unlike people that have designated dinner partners, I tend to have friends that come and go.
Yeah.
And so it's like really convenient to sit down at the bar. There might be 3 or 4 people that have a drink and a cocktail and a snack, and then they move on, and somebody else shows up that's going to stay for dinner, and we can just stay in the same spot at the corner of the bar.
Yeah. I love eating at the
My
bar.
go-to at Tavola, or Tavola.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I love that restaurant, it reminds me of back home.
Uh-huh.
On that end of it, I never order from the actual menu.
You
They have-
order off menu every time?
They
Well, you're
have-
ordering the special.
I order the special, and that's what I like about Tavola. It's a small restaurant, right? And they always, every day they have a new special.
Katie Pearl says, I freaking love Quentin.
Oh, I love Katie.
She just put it on there. Katie Pearl,
Katie's
you need,
adorable.
You need to come back on the show, Katie Pearl.
And I got to tell you, Katie is an amazing agent, and she does some really hard work for her clients, and I don't think they even realize it because she does it so smoothly.
So Katie is.
I think every agent's
while
working.
managing children,
Is it 5 now, Katie? I think it's 5. I believe it's
I've
5.
lost track.
I think it's 5. I think we could say now every agent is providing more value and working harder than ever before.
No. Yeah,
Yeah, we saw that. We talked about that.
I
I know.
don't want to talk about it.
Now it's in the hands of the states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And half the states have indicated that they're going to put policy in play that outlaws abortion.
But,
Yeah.
but that wasn't.
This is a historic day, and unfortunately, we don't want to get into the politics, but this is not going to be a great day.
Yeah. I'm just
We're
gonna have
talking
more-
row weight.
I'm going to have more cough syrup.
More
we can
cough
talk about
syrup.
this next week.
Well, we talk about this over happy hour or something.
Yeah, this is a happy hour conversation.
Katie says it's 5, Quentin.
So
It's 5,
So
yeah.
Katie, right? Cuban.
So
She's
we have
Cubana.
Cabana. What's her go-to restaurant in Charlottesville?
She loves Guajiros. I know firsthand. She's come on the show before, and she's brought tasty treats from Guajiros to us.
And I'll tell you what.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about. There's some spots, right? Some restaurant locations. We were just talking about that just don't work. But they've turned around that spot that they're in right now. Every time I drive by there, there's people sitting outside. It's fully packed, which is a testament to their cuisine.
They're in the old Latois spot. Interestingly, they're not open for dinner and still doing really well. That's a testament to how good your food is that you're
Sure.
surviving without dinner service.
I did not know the dinner service.
No dinner service there. And part of it's staffing. And it's also a testament to, she said Guajiros. See, Katie, I know you pretty well, girl.
Guajiros is good.
Yeah.
Those pastelitos are,
We're dynamite. That's what she brought to us, right?
oh, yeah.
They were dynamite.
Yeah. Puff
Every
pastries
time
filled
I
with
start to feel
guava
like-
and cream cheese. Oh, man.
Sorry, I can't see when your mouth is moving.
That
I didn't
big-
mean to interrupt.
It's the Big Mac right there. The computer blocks the view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to say,
No,
QB?
I'll move back.
Just how proud I am. We have so many agents that have their moms, their husbands work. They have 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, and they're at the park managing the children, closing real estate deals,
It's
and
amazing.
solving problems for their clients.
Yeah.
And we have other folks that every once in a while come into me, and it's really valid because all of our own stuff is valid. But they're complaining about how busy and complicated their lives are, and I'm thinking of folks like Katie and Courtney and some other Joyce and people that work for me that are really busy and have lots of competing priorities, not just every day, but
And
every
still
hour.
making the magic happen.
Yeah.
And make it happen, and their clients would never know, and it's just so impressive.
5 kids, Katie,
Motivates me to work harder.
Pearl has, and she's running a multi-million-dollar grossing business. It's phenomenal.
So one of the things I used to miss from back home was bread, and Marie Bet fixed that problem for us. Literally, when we go back home, we will bring bread from Marie Bet back home to go visit our daughter in Connecticut and grandkids because they hands down have New York bread beat. And I might be saying something a little sacrilegious here, but
So
without
you've
a doubt.
touched on a sensitive topic for me because I think a lot of sandwich shops fail because they have the wrong bread.
Amen. Bread
There-
makes a difference.
If you're going to have
Makes a
a
difference.
really good sandwich,
Makes a difference.
the bread is super important. 'cause
And that's what I
it
think I
can't
miss
fall
about
apart
a
on
Jewish.
It's just no.
That's what I miss about a Jewish deli, right? You get some really good Jewish rye, and it's huge slices on that end of it.
How about from Grayson? Where do you guys go for dumplings?
Ooh.
You guys get dumplings anywhere? I mean, there's the dumpling shop, Marco and Luca,
Marco and Luca is where
to
I've
me that
traditionally
would be
gotten
the.
them.
on the downtown mall.
Yeah.
There's the dumplings. Do you go anywhere for Whiskey Jar's got some good dumplings?
I've gotten
Yeah, just not
dumplings.
something I would order from there. though.
Right. I'd get the barbecue from Whiskey
So
Jar
we
or the
actually
fried
went-
chicken sandwich.
We
I've
went
gotten
last
dumplings
night.
at Red, what is it? Red Dragon? Shoot, there's a,
Whiskey Jar has chicken and dumplings for those that are wondering.
oh.
What were you
We
offering?
went last night to North Saki.
American Soccer.
American
I saw
Soccer.
you taking live video from Ix last night.
Yeah.
And it was late. I'm like, it's past this man's bedtime. And he was still up. I was
No,
impressed.
it was not past our
Did
bedtime.
somebody take your phone?
Oh, it wasn't him doing the Facebook
I
Live?
did it. I'm talk. Let the grown-ups talk, okay?
It was Quentin
So-
that took his phone?
No, it was not.
You're like grown up times 4.
Yeah, thank you. I think I thank you. I'm not really sure.
He got
Not sure if that
confused
was a
by that.
compliment or
He
not.
got confused by that.
I got a little confused. No.
That's new.
So again, what I love about this town, we finished up work at 9:00,
Okay.
right? I was like, I didn't want to go home and cook, so let's go grab some ramen, right? We grabbed some dumplings because they have
I
dumplings
love good ramen.
over there, right? We split. So,
Oh, I just got your text message. No, it's not too late, Quentin. Come downtown, please.
so
I'm
Yona-
glad you're here.
So go back to Tovola. So what Yona and I do, and we've been doing this as long as we've been married, we split plates. Like we'll sit at Tovola at the bar and we'll split a meal. And we'll split a dessert and we'll split whatever and we'll just put one plate in front of us.
Is that why you do that with me? Is it just your habit? I thought it was special.
No, you're not special.
Well, you guys also did that at South and Central, right? I saw a photo with you guys at the
but they
bar.
have big food there, so you
Yeah.
have to split it.
Massive. You know they have a late night dance party at South and Central?
No, I actually haven't. I have not
It's
been
a
to Dairy
salsa
Market
thing.
in a while.
Right, there's different themes for the
Yeah,
late night dance
yeah.
party. I thought it was interesting that
Yeah.
late night dance party is coming to a steakhouse.
So it's funny. My primary go-to steak place is Aberdeen, hands down.
Yeah, Aberdeen
without
bar.
doubt. Second is
I also
South.
love Angela. She's just
Angela, we gave her props earlier. She's amazing.
South and Central would be my second.
South and Central is good. I will say this. You need to come. Have you guys eaten there? Mm-hmm. I would say South and Central is not the most affordable place. You're going to be dropping money when you go there. Would you agree with that?
And I would say that everybody that serves a good steak, their prices have had to go up.
Right?
They haven't
100%.
had a choice.
Yeah.
Well, we-
But he's going the upper echelon steakhouse though, with South and Central, right? Wouldn't we say that's the case?
I just like their bar there. I like sitting at their bar.
It's beautiful.
and eat. And that's something that Yona and I have always done. Is we'd rather sit at a bar and have a meal than sit at a table.
The last time I was at South and Central, there was me and Elena and Bert, and
Good group.
One of Elena's good friends, Alicia, which
Okay.
is who Elena's actually with over in Ireland right now. I think they're coming back today. She might even be on a plane. And we sat at the chef's table,
Okay.
and we had such a great experience sitting at the chef's table that night because the chef was appropriately attentive, like interacting and giving us stuff, but not so hovering over you that you felt like you couldn't comment.
Sure.
And it was just a really, really good night. And that was the last time I was there. And I think it's been that's probably been 4 or 5 months.
Well, that's how we started. We kicked the show off. It's just so many options here,
And sitting talking about it, I feel like there's places I need to go back to that I haven't been in a while.
And that's what happens. You kind of get into this thing. But we kicked the show off. There's 2 questions I'm always asked, right? How's the market? Some relationship of the real estate. The second one is, where do I go? Where do you go for this to eat? Where do you go for that to eat? And so when somebody asks you that question, how do you respond to that? Because I know you get asked that question all the time.
I don't know. I try to ask what they're interested in.
There you go.
Like one of the places that we haven't talked about that I was thinking, because I don't know what triggered it, is Maya and Fried Chicken.
Ooh.
Sit at the bar. They've got great drinks. The good bartender and
Who's the
Chicken Fried
bartender's
Chicken.
name?
And Maya, Ted Norris.
Ted.
For the
Yeah.
program.
Ted's great, and he's practically a fixture.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ted.
Between Tavola's martini and Ted's martini, it's a pretty hard to, and it's such
And I
a
haven't been there in forever. And the last time I was there, they didn't. It wasn't Fried Chicken night. I was really upset because that's my favorite.
It's a certain night, isn't it?
I want to say it's Tuesday.
I think
but
it's
don't-
Tuesdays.
I
I think
don't
it's
know why I'm
Tuesdays.
saying that.
Yeah, I think it's Tuesdays. Maya Restaurant is staple. They just celebrated 15 years. They also, it's a real estate show, own the real estate.
They do.
Peter and Christian do. I see Christian quite often.
I really like being at their bar.
Yeah, the bar.
I
The bar's
don't want to
amazing.
sit elsewhere. Really, I prefer to be at the bar.
Is he the most iconic bartender in Charlottesville? Ted?
I would say he's been the most consistent. Other bartenders kind of come and go.
Because he's almost institutional now.
That's the right word.
Yeah, I have a deep love for Beckett and Steve that moved to Richmond.
Okay.
That started Chichetti Bar in the back of Tavla back when you couldn't have dinner at the bar. Really, really amazing couple and people. I think Steve is in the World Bartending Competition this week.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And she won one of the prizes for that. I don't know if it was first, second, or third. Big silver platter. They helped me fall in love with Tavla because they created that service and experience part for me that was just so amazing. And they started my deep, deep love of Tavla.
I like it.
Any
I
of
like
us? Any of us eating around the corner?
it. I eat around the corner in the summer when the students aren't there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We ate at Boylan Heights last weekend.
Good burger.
Yeah, it's a
Really
great
good
burger.
When I came back the second time around, I lived right by 10th and Page.
Sure.
And so we would walk to the corner, and that's the
I didn't know you lived there.
oh yeah, in the Piedmont housing houses, the
Okay.
three sisters, I think.
Yeah.
of them.
Are those the colorful houses on 10th Street
Yes.
by Peloton? Those houses are beautiful.
Yep.
That's a great location.
So Peloton would be my go-to restaurant for that area over there. And
On
then,
10th Street. Those colorful houses on 10th Street very much were one of the first rounds of changing 10th and Page.
Okay.
Wouldn't you say? From a price point standpoint? I mean, you're probably looking at, are they 6 and above? 600 and
Oh
up?
gosh, I don't even know what they are now.
but the point that you're making is they were the first rebuilding of that particular area.
Yeah.
That's when it kind of started, and that was, my God, 20 years ago.
At least.
Somewhere along.
I
those
really
lines.
love that we built houses like that when those came up, and I love the price points and how they put them together. And I wish there was access to more diversity in who owned them.
Well said. Especially in a historically African-American neighborhood.
Yeah.
That you would like to see maintain its character and integrity.
You know, because you want to see houses be maintained, and I would like for that to not gentrify the neighborhood to the point where all of its original generational inhabitants have to move elsewhere.
I like it. Stu Rifkin.
Speaking of Rachel
Watching
Burns,
the program.
Land Trust helps that.
Land Trust helps that. Rachel Burns just helped do a big fundraiser with
I saw!
YPN for AHIP.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ways to help keep housing affordable is to not
Fix it
let
up.
the people lose the house that they own. because that's a big part of what AHIP does. So I'm really happy about that.
Very nice.
So your go-to wine place.
I don't drink wine.
Okay.
My go-to wine place is Elena and Bert's house.
Got it.
Where bourbon is in the wine glass.
Well, they also have a great wine selection.
I know they do. I know they do.
Elena.
What does
is-
she usually cook for you when you show up? What's her go-to dish?
Elena doesn't cook. That's
Yeah.
Bert's job.
I apologize. What does Bert cook for you?
Whatever he wants. I have never had Bert put food down in front of me that I have not loved.
Wow.
He has the smoker. He's got the grill. He's great in the kitchen. And in fact, when Elena was out in town, we've had a couple of boys' nights, so to speak. And one just this week that was me, him, and Mark, and we just had like hamburgers, fries,
How
and a
was Mark
salad,
doing? I
and even
haven't
that was
seen
really
him
good.
forever. Mark doing good?
Mark's smart.
Good.
Yeah. So
So comfort food. We're having a bad day. What's your comfort food, and where do you go get it?
Wow.
You're having.
I like the Mona Lisa pasta pepperoni pizza. If you haven't had that on Preston Avenue, it's dynamite.
Got a lot of extra grease on it. Kind of drips off when you
No,
when you eat it.
it's a very ungreasy pizza.
Really? I'm
I think
sorry to
it
hear
might be the I don't know. It's a really good pie. One of the best pies in Charlottesville, I think, is the Mona Lisa pasta pepperoni pizza. Have you ever had it?
I've not, but I'm.
You should try it.
As Yona would say, I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to certain foods. So,
very
all
good.
that stuff. So pepperoni pizza pie from Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
You're having a stressful day, and
It's very
your
good.
I don't
comfort.
know. Most of my comfort foods involve sauce,
Okay, well, what is it?
like a really good pot roast.
Pot roast is good.
Oh,
It's also
you like a
enough.
pot roast?
I love a great pot
So
roast.
Yona Smith.
Love a good pot roast.
Yona's an excellent cook, but anything that's Germanic, Austrian, Hungarian, that kind of stuff. If you really want a pot roast or a goulash or something like that in the middle of the winter, and you want something to stick to your bones, that's that. Judah, what's your
Plus, you need a certain carb fullness level where you can then fall asleep. Because
Well,
then when you wake up from the carb
well, isn't
coma,
that part
it's
of
a
the whole
new
comfort
world.
food thing? You're supposed to
Yeah.
have that pizza, take a nap, and then everything is better, right? Is that how
Yeah.
this is supposed
That's
to
how
work?
it works with me.
Judah, what's your comfort food? What's your go-to? You're having a bad day, and you want to eat, and then where would that be to kind of make you feel better?
I think my comfort food would probably be anytime brunch at Tip Top.
There you go. Tip top.
Oh,
Kevin Yancey watching the program. He says Corner with a K restaurant. It's comfort
so
food.
that's the second thing I miss from back home, is a good diner. Now,
Yeah.
Tip Top's a really
Tip
good
Top's
diner.
dynamite.
Yeah.
But one of these diners you go to at 2:00, 3:00 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and you get yourself your French fries with the green gravy on it because you might need a little bit of grease in your stomach at that.
Might be
part.
the top grossing restaurant in Charlottesville, Elmore County. Tip
Well,
top.
the whole family, that and the hot Jack and Jill, right? They're the same family, right?
No, different
They are not.
family. Zanice owns Jack and Jill and the real estate, and who you're thinking of is Tip Top Terry. He no longer owns Tip Top.
Oh,
They are both
Jack
Greek.
and Jill is my favorite chili cheese dog in town.
Zanice makes a good one. My neighbor Zanice.
It's a really good, yeah. It's like Wiener Schnitzel, but better.
It's dynamite.
yeah, there's no such a thing.
And he's got crushed ice at Jack and Jill. I love crushed ice.
I'm not a fan of crushed ice.
Why?
Well, one, it melts too fast and it waters
Okay.
everything down.
You don't like biting and chewing the crushed ice?
Oh,
I love
no.
that.
I love that. Me too.
No.
No?
No.
How you prefer your ice like the big cube like you would get in a bourbon?
Yes.
Okay. Does it melt? Holds its form? Does its
Doesn't
job?
water down the drink.
You're certainly not chewing the big cube.
Well, no, I don't want to chew ice. I'm not a dog.
Okay. All right. I like to chew ice. Quinn.
So it's an interesting
I'm
thing.
glad you came.
Yona will never put ice in her drink, in a water in her drink. She literally, it's a
Room temperature?
It's a European thing.
we
They-
call that
I think
civilized.
a lot of people outside of America,
Yeah, do that.
outside of the United States,
She
are
and
like,
it's
yeah,
amazing
why-
because she'll actually the waiter will come in to do that, and it's a whole thing, and she's gotten to the point that she won't. What'll happen? This is a sit down, right? So there'll be 2 glasses of water. All of a sudden, the fork will come out. Is she watching?
Yona Smith is watching.
So
Hello, Yona.
Fork will come out, and all the ice cubes will come out of her glass into my glass.
That's great. You got more ice?
So I do have the bartenders at Tavla now know I want my bottle is chilled.
Yeah, it's cold already. Why do you need ice?
I understand iced tea because it's got ice in the name.
Got it.
And outside of that, The only time I like crushed ice is in a mint julep.
Mint julep's delicious. Love a
Mint
mint
juleps are
julep.
delicious.
Around Kentucky Derby time.
3 penny.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
If you were sitting out on
Now
the
Little
patio
Star.
on a summer day,
Yeah.
they made an amazing mint julep. They had the machine to crush the ice just correctly. It was the perfect size so that it chilled it without being so small that you had to inhale it.
One of the first spots I ever took my wife to was 3 Penny Cafe. Oh, it used to be Zinc, used to be the station, now Little Star.
Used to be an actual gas station.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mac and cheese is my go-to.
Mac and cheese is your comfort food.
It's my comfort
Very good.
food.
Oh,
Right.
that's a great one.
I have a comfort food.
Now we're back to Rachel, who makes an amazing mac and cheese
Burns?
with other things in it. Yes.
So that's it. So it's not straight up mac and cheese. It's
There's things.
there's things that have to be in it. And
It might be sausage things, or it might be lobster things, or
it could be green beans, peas.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I know that, but it could be a little bit of bacon in it. It could just it's
Yeah.
stuff that you throw in it. And to be honest with you, it's
Rachel, if you're watching, I'm hungry. You really need to cook for me again.
yeah.
I think you're going to the Aberdeen barn.
I'm just saying.
She lives there. She used to work there.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I mean, you see in the feedback here, they're like, we love the fun and lively and recommendations for the food scene in Charlottesville from viewers and listeners. I like it. I liked your idea of coming with a fun Friday show today.
I mean, we know there's lots of really important things going on in the world right now.
All
We
you
just
got
don't
to
want
do
to
is
talk
look
about
at the
them.
television over there and know that.
Yeah, we
but-
just don't want to talk about them.
Yeah, I just wanted to have fun today and
We did it.
just have a good time. Thank you for popping in.
I'm so sorry I was late, but it was really important.
It's okay.
I
They're
They're
wanted this agent
running
this morning.
companies.
Jerry hold the show up till you got here.
Oh, you did great.
Yeah,
They're
so
great.
I apologize for being late.
He's Quentin Beckham and he's Keith Smith.
I was worried about your cough syrup because I was going to grab it if you weren't even come much.
You got anything cooking for Monday? Are we going to see some KWA on Monday?
No, yes and no, because we're all KWA. We're
Yeah.
all part of one big family. I've got Jim Duncan and Greg
Oh,
Slater
that's
coming
right.
in. So
That's a big one.
Greg's going to talk what O snap is going on or O shift is going on the new construction side in particular, and I don't know what Mr. Duncan's going to. He's always.
He likes bicycles like you guys do.
He likes bikes,
Yeah,
but
he does.
we'll see what how that conversation is going to go. It should be dynamic for sure.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Undoubtedly.
And then-
Stainless steel ice cubes for alcohol, Kevin says for Quentin.
Oh,
Yeah, so I've had a lot of bourbon rocks, and I have a psychological resistance to them.
we've got soapstone ones at the house.
Those are great too.
As someone's, I think it's because it's non-traditional, and part of having a drink, I never drank by myself. I always drank with people because it's a social event, and part of the drink is sort of making it a little classic, and somehow that feels like I'm cheating.
Okay. I'm also like him, the big square cubes. That's what I use at home. I got a 6 tray or a 6 cube tray of the
Yeah.
big cube.
I think it's also because I like really boozy bourbons. I want them with a high alcohol content, so I need the ice to melt a little bit.
Yeah. Or it's not
The
enjoyable.
point is to water it down and open up those esters.
Circular or square for the cube?
Square.
I have both, but I prefer square.
Me too.
Why
Why do you prefer square? Do you have a reason? I have a reason.
Because when you pour the bourbon and if you're using bitters or anything else, the bourbon goes in first, and the ice cube goes in second. If you throw in a round cube, it's going to go everywhere, and
That's
the
why.
round cube does
For me
not
too.
stay in the glass when you go to take a sip.
There's
it
the
always
reason.
hits your face.
Where the square stays.
It also melts.
Because it has more surface area touching the bottom of the glass.
It melts
It's called
inappropriately.
physics, guys.
Yeah.
It melts inappropriately.
Right. I like it. That's
So I
literally
actually,
my reasoning.
I actually
That was good.
bought new glasses for the set.
I know you did.
And I actually bought, and I forgot you don't have a freezer here.
No, we don't.
And I bought.
This is where Quentin says something about our coffee pot.
Oh my gosh, it's like I've moved to Swaziland.
Well, I just want to let you know.
First world
when I went on,
problems, Quentin.
I just want to let everybody know. When I went to Amazon to buy these, I also bought the silicone square things, but I realized you can't do.
I would drink something else here, but there's no other way to get anything
So
else to drink.
I literally, Yona goes, "You're nuts."
You have to leave the building.
Yona thought I was nuts. I was like, "Okay, look, I'll make the ice cubes at home."
I actually
Can
think
I
this
finish
is why
telling my
Yoda doesn't show
story?
up.
Can I finish telling my
No,
story?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So now I forgot.
You're making the ice cubes.
I'm
at
making.
home.
Thank you. I'm making the ice cubes home. So I was literally this morning staring at the freezer, going, how am I going to bring these ice cubes into the set today without them melting? And she looked at me and said, what are you, crazy? So I was literally like, okay, well, I got these freezer bags and I got extra like ice I'll put in it, and I'll figure out a way to bring in square ice cubes. And Mrs. Smith said,
You don't have an ice chest?
did you say I have a nice chest, did you say?
You said ice
What
chest.
chest?
Nice chest.
I thought you were talking about my chest. My hearing aids heard nice chest,
show.
not
I
ice
love
Your
these
hearing aids are
guys.
set at self-aggrandizing.
Nice chest.
I'm sorry.
I thought that was clever.
That was the funniest line ever. Neil Williamson, good morning. All right, my friends, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. It's 11:42.
I'll
You
talk
guys are
about
busy
Neil
now.
Williams. Shout out to
Neil Williamson.
Williamson. I did that at I did, literally.
Williamson.
I literally did that
He
at.
says to Quentin Beckham, ice, ice, baby.
I literally did that at the Regional Housing Partnership. The man is sitting next to me, and I'm chairing this thing, and I kept on calling him Williams. Not Williamson.
Did he correct you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Neil.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And rightly so. So my
Well, our next board meeting, I'll introduce the two of you.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. You guys have fun.
it's not easy. I'm telling you, this is not easy.
You're not simple. You're correct.
Aaron King, this is great feedback. I love the show today and found it a nice break from the real estate and city drama we currently are experiencing
you.
all over the area. That was the idea.
That was my idea. Thank you very much. Thank you for.
I also think there's so many things for us to be happy about.
Yeah.
You know, to only focus on the hard stuff is inappropriate.
Okay, why don't we give him some props for that? There we go. That's the show. We hope you enjoyed it. We had fun. We love you guys. We're here to champion Charlottesville. Keith and Quentin and Judah are undoubtedly champions of Charlottesville. I try to be as well. The I Love Seville show is up in approximately 47 minutes. We will be here for you guys. Thank you for joining us. It's presented by Keller Williams Alliance and Yes Realty Partners. We will see you in 47 minutes, guys, on the I Love Seville show. So long and take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Well
coming
done.
in. Thanks for coming in, bro.
Nicely done. Keith, you too.
Yeah, keep you too.